Welcome to Man at the Tap, a podcast from Tapestry Ministries. Each episode reflects on a daily Bible reading from the Revised Common Lectionary. I'm Gloria, a fellow traveler on a spiritual journey with the Tapestry community, and we refer to the daily Bible reading as our spiritual manna. It nourishes our souls, fostering spiritual growth as we share insights and interpretations that enrich our spiritual lives. Today is Wednesday, October the 22nd, 2025, in the 19th week after Pentecost during this season of ordinary time. This is a time for us to live an extraordinary, disciplined life as we grow spiritually. The lectionary reading is the final part of a trilogy about a wise and beautiful woman, her husband, who was a wicked sheep rancher, and the king in waiting to rule over Israel, none other than David. And David is filled with wrath. The story is found in the Old Testament book of 1 Samuel, chapter 25. The story so far. Over the past 2 years, David and his men have worked as security guards for this wealthy rancher, safeguarding both his shepherds and sheep from Philistine raiders while they're living in the desert. The unwritten rule in the community was that during harvest time, the ranchers would shear their flock, hold a celebration, and give the security guards an honorarium for protecting their people and flock. David had sent 10 of his young men to collect his reward, and this wicked rancher told them to inform David that he would not give him anything because he was a troublemaker. David was angry and ready with 400 of his men to attack the rancher's compound. Fortunately, the rancher's servants overheard his conversation with the young man and told his wife. As a wise woman, she sent the servants with food she had prepared for the celebration to David, and then she joined them to beg David not to harm her family. She apologized for her husband's behavior, telling David that her husband's name means fool, and he was acting like one. She then asked David to listen to her and not seek revenge, but rather to accept the gift of food she had brought for his young men. She also reminded David to consider the consequences if he killed everyone, including those who were innocent. David paused to reflect on what she was saying, and he praised the Lord for intervening on his behalf by sending this wise woman to speak to him. He thanked her, and she returned home. The lectionary reading is 1 Samuel chapter 25, verses 36 to 42. By the time the wise woman reached home, her husband had already started the celebration and was drinking until he was intoxicated as a skunk. Then he went to bed. In the morning, the wise woman told her half sober husband that his life was in danger. The news caused him to have a massive heart attack, and he remained in a coma for the next 10 days until he died. When David heard the news of the death of the wicked rancher, he praised the Lord for his protection and for saving him from seeking his own revenge. David then proposed to the widow of the wicked rancher, and she accepted his proposal, and they had one son together. The lesson of this story is that God observes and listens when others insult and hurt us. He always intervenes by sending someone to remind us, like the wise woman, not to seek revenge or try to take matters into our own hands. Instead, we should leave the consequences in God's hands. And when God resolves the situation for us, remember to praise Him for His protection and care. Like David, you will be glad you did not take matters into your own hands.